Okay, hello and welcome back to the Pennsylvania GreenGov Sustainability Summit. Today's presentation will focus on how correction industries in Penn State are providing training and education for those needing a second chance. I'm Matt Reese, GreenGov Deputy Director. Thank you for joining the discussion again as we continue through our Sustainability Week. Today's webinar will be recorded for later review and reference and placed on the GreenGov website. A follow-up email will be sent with links to this webinar, as well as all webinars within the Sustainability Week series. Our team will plan to set aside time at the end of the presentation for an interactive question and answer session. We ask that participants keep their microphones muted for the duration of the presentation, with opportunities to unmute afterwards for the question and answer. Today's webinar features a Spanish translation. This may be accessed through the meeting controls at the bottom of your screen. Tap the language interpretation tab and select the language. Okay, let's get started with our program. As in past GreenGov Sustainability webinar series, we partner with the Penn State Sustainability Institute and our great friend and colleague, Dr. Peter Boger. Peter is the Assistant Director for Outreach and Community Engagement and responsible for helping the Sustainability Institute integrate the university's sustainability initiatives within the community and campus partners. Thanks for all your help, Peter. In 2015, 192 nations adopted the UN Sustainable Development Goals, a framework of 17 goals with 169 definable targets to ensure a sustainable future for all by 2030. The goals identify both social, environmental, and economic aspects of sustainability that must be achieved. Today, we will focus on Sustainable Development Goal 16, which promotes peaceful and inclusive societies by providing access to justice for all and building inclusive institutions. Through programs like PA Correctional Industries and Penn State's Restorative Justice Initiative, the Commonwealth is working to make a difference. Supporting critical inmate training, education, and reentry through a world-class program where some of the best Pennsylvania sustainability harvested hardwood furniture is being made through correctional industries. Starting us off, we're pleased to introduce John Norbeck, Deputy Secretary for Parks and Forestry, Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, for opening remarks. John became DCNR Deputy Secretary for Parks and Forestry in August 2015. As deputy, he oversees operations of the Bureaus of State Parks, Forestry, and Facility Design and Construction, along with helping to advance DCNR's strategic initiatives. John served as the Director of the Bureau of State Parks from 2006 to 2012. During his tenure, the Bureau was awarded the National Gold Medal for Best Managed State Park Systems in the country, 2009 through 2011. John spearheaded outstanding infrastructure investments in the Pennsylvania wilds, including the Bald Eagle Nature Inn, Elk County Visitor Center, Kinsua Bridge Skywalk, and the Cinemahoning Wildlife Center, among many others. In 2012, John was awarded the President's Award for the National Association of Parks Directors. John has also served as Chief Operating Officer for Penn Future, a statewide environmental advocacy organization. Thank you, Deputy Secretary Norbeck. We certainly appreciate your efforts and leadership, and take it away.
Thanks a lot, Matt, and thanks to all of you for being willing to tune in today and joining us over lunch to learn and have an opportunity to discuss with Pennsylvania Correctional Industries and learn about their work in providing training, job training, and education to folks that really need a second chance, and that's folks that are incarcerated. So your question might very well be, what's this have to do with sustainability? And what you'll hear today is really a human success story wrapped up in sustainability. So just as a reminder, we are recording this session, and your participation, excuse me, is an implied consent. And like Matt said, I'm John Norbeck. I'm the Deputy Secretary here at DCNR for Parks and Forestry. And we manage 124 state parks and 2.2 million acres of state forest lands. And those lands are managed sustainably and are dual certified sustainable through the Sustainable Forest Initiative, which is SFI, and the Forest Stewardship Council, commonly called FSC. And we're the first state in the nation to receive that dual certification by these international organizations. And we're audited annually by these organizations to ensure that we're sustainably compliant. And I was really pleased to be informed this morning that we finished our audit for 2022. We had an excellent audit with no corrective actions. So my hat's off to all our folks in Bureau of Forestry for doing a fantastic job. During this session, we plan to have about 30 minutes or so of presentation from our speaker, followed by a question and answer session. As you listen, feel free to put questions in the chat, and I'll pick those up and tee them up as we move forward. After the presentation, I'll pick up those questions. Hopefully we'll be able to get to everyone's questions, but if not, we will follow up with you within a week or so after the presentation. So just a little background of my connection with correctional industries is as a deputy overseeing parks and forestry and co-chair of the agency's sustainability team. I know that it's important for all of us to kind of walk the walk, the sustainability through our behaviors and our actions. And here at DCNR, we sequester a lot of terrestrial carbon in our forests and are looking at ways to extend that sequestration of carbon in trees after they're harvested. In 2010, while finishing up the Nature Inn at Bald Eagle State Park, which is a LEED certified gold facility, which is one of our 20 LEED certified buildings in DCNR, we really needed to furnish the 16 guest room in a very sustainable way. And we did an extensive search for companies that provide wood furniture, basically. We wanted solid wood furniture, Pennsylvania hardwoods, locally sourced to help us sequester carbon, but at the same time reducing our carbon footprint from any type of long distance deliveries. And if you can think about a lot of the stuff we get is even stuff made with Pennsylvania hardwoods may be exported to the Pacific Rim, made into furniture and sent back. But we wanted to really reduce that carbon footprint. And like I said, we did an extensive search for companies that would provide that opportunity. And we came across Correctional Industries, and we're really impressed with the high quality of their furniture, the really small carbon footprint, and the long-term sequestration of forest products through very durable furniture. And we're also impressed with the societal function of training inmates for jobs in the wood products industry. And in Pennsylvania, the wood products industry employs over 64,000 people and produces over $36 billion in economic impact. And in that industry, like many today, are short on trained labor. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to do something socially responsible and at the same time meet our sustainability goals. Our next speaker is at the tip of the spear when it comes to melding sustainable forest products industry and also that social need and the social good. I'm pleased to introduce our speaker today, who will walk us through their program, experiences in operating this very important growing program, I'll say. I'd like to welcome Troy Vanetti. Troy currently serves as a sales and marketing manager at Pennsylvania's Correctional Industries, and that's a bureau within Correctional Industries. I'm sorry, bureau within the Department of Corrections. And they maximize inmate employment while providing valuable vocational training and work experience. He also manages a team of sales, marketing, and customer service professionals that market, promote PCI products and services across the Commonwealth. Prior to joining PCI, Troy held held positions in media companies such as Advanced Digital and the Washington Post as a digital marketing category manager. Troy, welcome, and really excited to hear what you got to say. Take it away.
Thanks, John, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Troy Vanetti, and I'm the Sales and Marketing Supervisor at Pennsylvania Correctional Industries, or PCI as we call it. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to convey the value, purpose, and mission of PCI and how we are working to support the Green Gov Council's mission to boost green and sustainable practices in state government. I'd like to begin by telling you about who PCI is. If you've never heard or worked with PCI before, we are a bureau within the Department of Corrections with a unique mission, teaching inmates to work. We make thousands of items at our correctional industry shops across the Commonwealth, including furniture, chairs, mattresses, signs, and decals. Our bureau has been around since 1915, but the purpose and goal has always been the same: to increase successful reentry through on-the-job training. PCI is constantly maintaining and expanding our work training programs for incarcerated individuals, which develop relevant and marketable job skills, instill and promote positive work ethics, and overall lowers recidivism. Our correctional industries are based within 19 state correctional institutions throughout the Commonwealth. And in those institutions, we employ roughly 1,600 inmates at any given time. Our on-the-job training prepares inmates for a variety of professions. Among these are assemblers, cabinet makers, maintenance workers, mechanics, shipping and receiving, which is very popular these days, optical technicians, laundry workers, a whole variety. A wide variety of skill sets are taught that can lead to numerous job openings upon release, which is the goal. There we go. Here's a 25,000-foot view of PCI as an organization. This map will give you a better idea of where we operate and what we do. From our 5 laundry facilities at Benner Township, Phoenix, Frackville, Somerset, and Mercer, and our commissary operation, which handles distribution and warehousing at SCI Mahanoy, Albion, and Houtzdale. And other facilities, the one we'll be talking about the most today is our wood shop at Rockview, which is next to State College up there in the middle of the state, our metal shop at Fayette, garment shops at Phoenix and Huntingdon, and a printing shop and a soap plant at Huntingdon as well. Pennsylvania correctional industry work programs are modeled after the real world, and that's very important. We want to build these skill sets and teach technical and marketable skills, and as they're developed, we also want them to learn valuable soft skills, which are essential to success in whatever vocation our workers choose to explore after release. Some individuals within our program have never held a job before, so we are providing much more than job training to some individuals. A positive work environment that we promote helps inmates gain any variety of these items: a sense of purpose, teaches them patience, lets them know they have a voice, gives them the ability to support themselves and their family. They learn troubleshooting skills and pride, taking pride in what they manufacture. The ability to multitask, communication skills, working with others, confidence, and a sense of professional behavior. These soft skills and social skills are an enormous benefit when our workers re-enter society upon release. And when I'm explaining what PCI does to a group of people who may not know what we do, I like to add a thank you note from an individual who came through our program and using the knowledge and skills they learned through PCI to really be successful. This person in particular, this isn't the actual person, it's just a shot of somebody else. There's an example of an individual who reached out to our optical lab manager earlier this year. As you can see, this person was able to obtain a job making $20 an hour to start with benefits. They even go on to say that there's an edging machine at the facility and she is the only person there who knows how to use it. Letters like this make everything we do worthwhile. And we hear this a lot from our optical program. A lot of the programs that we have offer certificates and certifications, and optical is probably the best example of it. When somebody earns a degree that they've been cross-trained in our optical program, there's many employers that are in need of these individuals, but We also provide those same type of certifications for forklift operators, welding, printing, and laundry. They have their own certifications as well. And just at a high level, we can take a look at national statistics that are very promising when it comes to correctional industries. As you see, CI recidivism rate is roughly 24% versus the state rate of 40%, meaning offenders who are working in correctional industries are far less likely to return to prison than an average offender. Furthermore, individuals who go through the CI program were more likely to have a legal source of income and earn $1,000 more per month than those inmates who did not participate. So who can we sell to? Unfortunately, PCI is unable to sell products and services directly to the general public. As you can see, we can only sell to the following types of entities within the Commonwealth: state agencies, municipalities, boroughs, cities, and any nonprofit or entity with a 501c3 classification. We are CoStar's members, which is a great advantage for us. We've used it a lot. Through that partnership, you do not have to put your request out to bid. You simply contact us and we can generate a design and a quote based on what you're looking for and send it directly to you. So that's done primarily out of convenience. So why buy from PCI? Well, outside of having a world-class mission, we have thousands of products to choose from. Literally, it's one of the hardest questions I ever have to answer is, so what do you make at PCI? It's anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 items at any given day, and it's always changing, evolving, really. Satisfaction is guaranteed. So we'll always go the extra mile to make sure our customers are happy with their purchases. Often if something breaks shortly after it's bought or there's an issue, something's defective, we have no problem with going out to whoever bought it from us and fixing it because we stand by what we make. I've mentioned before, no bids are required when purchasing directly from PCI, and this saves a lot of time. We can move things along rather quickly. So I think that's an advantage why somebody would want to buy from PCI. And PCI is 100% self-funded and operates solely from the revenue we generate from the products and services we provide without relying on tax appropriated funds. So once we do get customers, we tend to treat them as well as we can because we rely on every dollar that comes in. We get $0 from the government. We pay our guards, we pay our correctional officers and the inmates who work in the shops to develop the items. So now that you know who PCI is, I'd like to tell you a little bit about sustainability and how PCI supports the Green Gov Council's mission. PCI supports the Green Gov Council's mission to boost green and sustainable practices in state government by sourcing and manufacturing furniture and other items made from PA-grown hardwoods. And here's a question for the group. What state leads the nation in the production and export of hardwood lumber? I know John knows the answer. Well, since everybody's on mute, probably, I'm just going to assume that somebody out there shouted Pennsylvania, because it's true. I learned this fact earlier this year, and I was actually taken aback. But why is this important? It's important because of hardwood and its ability to sequester carbon. It's renewable. Trees grow back, unlike fossil fuels, minerals, and other raw materials. It's energy efficient. For far more energy, up to 126 times more is used to produce concrete, aluminum, steel, plastic, and other non-renewable materials. There's zero to little waste when making a product out of hardwood, especially in our shops. Tree harvesting and manufacturing doesn't waste wood. Byproducts become mulch, wood pellets, animal bedding, paper pulp, fuel, or biomass energy. And wood products store carbon, as I touched on earlier. As trees grow, they absorb carbon from CO2 and release the oxygen to the air. The weight of dry wood is carbon, which is safely stored for the life of the wood product. Lastly, lumber is the only carbon negative material. Here's a list of the hardwood items that I'd like to show you in more detail that we produce at PCI. All of our PA hardwood items are made at the wood shop at SCI Rockview, I mentioned earlier, right next to State College in Bellefonte, where incarcerated individuals learn woodworking, painting, engraving, and much more as they create a wide variety of items. Here's a few pictures from inside our shop. These are actual pictures. I think we got some picnic tables up there on the upper left, some chairs that we sold to the DMVA on the top right, and that chair is further along in the assembly line process in the bottom right. And those are actual pictures taken not too long ago at Rockview. Our work crews learn administrative and office skills. Utilizing SAP software, customer orders are sent to the shop from CI Central Office for production. The staff and inmates will cut production orders, track production costs, order materials, keep inventories, and process goods, receipts, and invoices for those orders. And wood furniture production skills they learn are state of the art. Inmates trained to use the AutoCAD software design program for high quality furniture that we provide to the government, hospitals, and educational markets. PCI has the ability to design and build custom items to a customer's specific specifications. We use solid wood, furniture grade plywood, plastic laminate to produce our products. Inmates are trained on modern woodworking equipment, including CNC router equipment, which requires current AutoCAD and other computer-based programming knowledge. So that's something I wanted to convey, is that when we have individuals in our shops, they're not just doing basic carpentry, and they're learning skills that really will correlate and really help them get a job upon release. Custom projects. The desks we made for Thornberry Township on the left in the Capitol Cafe Bar at the PA Capitol are two great examples of custom projects that PCI created using PA grown hardwood. Thornberry reached out to us and wanted to know what styles were available for them to choose from a desk standpoint. So the sales manager from that territory met with the customer, measured the desks and the office, and was more or less provided them with some various options. Next, our shop created a mock-up of the desks for the customer and requested a price quote to show them, to see if that price point was in their ballpark. Lastly, the shop and the sales rep coordinated a delivery date with the customer in order to move the furniture in. As you can see from the note, they were very happy with the finished product. The other item on the right, you may have noticed if you spent any time in the PA Capitol, but it's the PA Capitol Cafe Bar. Our team designed and built the structure, whose beauty is still praised from time to time. We still get a lot of compliments on that. And to John's point, one of the best examples of a custom large project was the Nature Inn at Bald Eagle State Park. Back in October of 2009, PCI forged impressive relationships with DCNR in an effort to furnish all the interior furniture at Nature Inn at Bald Eagle State Park. The furniture, our Penswood series, is a mission style hewn from Forest Stewardship Council certified, Pennsylvania sourced white oak hardwood. PCI furnished all 16 guest rooms and public areas. Here's a couple pictures. Obviously, you can see the very beautiful craftsmanship, and if you go back there today, it looks identical as when we delivered it back in 2010. The thing to remember about custom projects is to set a meeting with PCI if that's something that you would be interested in, to discuss really what you would like to do. It doesn't cost anything to meet with us for us to create a design in a price point that may or may not be in your ballpark or something that you'd like to do. Restoration projects are a lot of fun too for our shop. As you can see here on the left, we did the Huntington County Courthouse doors. The entire courthouse went through an extensive renovation, but PCI specifically helped out by restoring the 4 large doors in the front of the building. Each door weighed approximately 400 pounds each and was made of solid walnut. They were originally installed in 1882 and were weathered and dilapidated with varnish and peeling paint, multiple layers of paint through the years. I think that somebody at the shop even said it could have been 8 layers. They had to really strip it down to get back to that original luster of the original wood. But as you can see on the picture, the doors have been restored to their original stately look and feel. All parties involved with the restoration project praised the job PCI did. And another restoration project was the Blair County Courthouse on the right. And I'll show you some pictures of that on the next slide. The Blair County Courthouse restoration was much more detail-oriented in nature. It was a combination of new furniture and refinished items, all designed to match the original items made in the early 1900s. I believe it was 1906. Our team from PCI worked with the conservator on staff at the courthouse who advised them often on what was needed, etc., on a variety of colors, styles, design points. Altogether, we made the judge's bench, witness stand, jury box, and restored countless pews and chairs. The letter on the left is from our main contact on the project, who is absolutely thrilled with the results. And very similar to the restoration projects, the reupholstering and refinishing projects we manage are also very interesting, what comes in and out of the shop really over the years. With these projects, PCI helps reduce, reuse, and recycle materials by extending the life of furniture. Our team is essentially keeping items out of landfills by prolonging the life of furniture via our reupholstering and refinishing service. Every project is different, but in all cases, we fully disassemble the item, make repairs if there's damage. That's first and foremost as well. Then we refinish the item with new stain and clear coat or reupholster it with new vinyl and fabrics. So you could have something like a couch or these chairs that we're looking at that maybe the cushion is really sunken down in the middle. I mean, we'd add obviously new cushions. The wood is, this is a circumstance with these items. They all came out of an Elks Lodge in Phillipsburg, but where we took the upholstered items out, restored the wood first, and then we're able to put a new chair backing and seat on these chairs. The items such as armchairs, sofas, couches, and other furniture can be revitalized to bring back the original look and feel of an item way past its prime. The service is good for the environment and also is cost effective when compared to buying new. Of course, when it comes to hardwood furniture, we talk about outdoor furniture, picnic tables and benches. Made exclusively from kiln-dried solid oak. PCI offers a variety of picnic tables. We make numerous sizes, as you can see. Our standard and ADA picnic tables are available unassembled or fully assembled. So if, and there's not much of a price difference between those two options. You know, I would probably go with them fully assembled, but some people have personnel on staff that can do the assembly themselves, or some people say, hey, it's much easier to go the other route. whatever the customer wants is usually how we go. The octagon table is cross-braced with holes to hold a sunshade in place, and the benches are unattached from the table. So various state agencies like to purchase the octagon table. In addition to the picnic tables, we have gazebos, pavilions, and kiosks. Our gazebos are constructed of bullnose decking, rafters, and posts with fiberglass shingles on top. We make them with or without a cupola. Our pavilions are they're shipped unassembled with all hardware and instructions included. Custom sizes and other options are available, but generally customers are looking for 16 foot by 24, 20 foot by 30, or 36 by 36. And lastly, the kiosk, there's a picture of one on the bottom. We make a variety of kiosks. They're popular at the municipal level and state parks. We generally need to know if the customer would like them double-sided or single-sided. Then we mock up a design and create a quote for them to approve. Next, we have the laser engraved items. They're very popular, and I would say because they can be personalized. You can see from these pictures, the potential for customization is really limitless based on what a customer would like to do. A lot of people come up to us and say, can you do this? Or they say something like, we're tired of giving out plaques every year. We'd like to do something different to give to our employees. Can you make any suggestions or recommendations? And just recently, my answer to that was the picture on the bottom left. I mean, depends, how big you want to go in terms of the item, but a set of 4 coasters that you can have personalized with the individual's name or your agency's logo makes it highly personal, unique, and it's only, I think, maybe $16 per set. So a lot of the stuff isn't expensive. At PCI, as I always repeat on our sales calls, we're mission based. Therefore, we don't angle for margin. It's not how much can we get from the customer. We're essentially state employees selling to state employees. But where we see success is if we could open up another line, or like if we have 60 inmates at any given time working in Rockview's wood shop, wouldn't it be great to have 100 as opposed to 80? So we could, the more, the busier we are, the more work we have, the more men and women we can bring into our correctional facilities to help. We also create keepsake boxes, awards, wooden coins, and ornaments, which are very popular this time of year. I really like this project, this laser engraved item. This was a wine box that we created for Unique Source. An individual was stepping down from the board of directors role, and they wanted a keepsake style gift to give this individual, not just a standard plaque. They said they wanted a box that could hold 4 bottles of wine, and they wanted her name engraved on it. And we were able to do the tongue and groove, craftsmanship on the joints there, which looks great, as well as incorporate the Unique Source logo, and that's on the top left of the top picture there, that little diamond within the circle. We were able to incorporate that a few different places throughout the box, but they thought we went above and beyond. I think at the shop, they love a challenge. They love to go above and beyond, and all feedback like this I send directly to the shop, and these thank you notes are printed out and tacked up within the shop to just show the workers that they're making a difference, that their craftsmanship is really exceptional. PCI offers 3 types of office furniture lines that our customers have been very pleased with over the years. They essentially are set up to go from good, better to best. This is the Regal series. That's more or less our good series. The Elite series is more decorative. And lastly, the Penn's wood furniture, which is the best series we offer. And the price for these items usually goes up as you go from good to best. All our series are handmade using PA hardwoods. And each series offers items such as bookcases, credenzas, double pedestal desks, executive U-shaped desks, filing cabinets, hutches, lateral files, and tables, all designed to match. So if you were going to say buy one desk from the Regal series, you could get a book, you could get a credenza, you could get a bookshelf. You may want to get a lateral filing cabinet that matches, and so on and so forth. And this right here is our Elite series. It's more decorative, as the paper says there. It's usually darker in color and has nicer hardware. But as far as stain options go, there's everything under the sun. We can definitely customize. Some people want 2 drawers on the right and 4 drawers on the left, or they want a keyboard tray put in, or they want locks. It's just a matter of really talking to the individual who's ordering the furniture to find out what exactly they want, so they absolutely love it. And this looks familiar. As I said, the Penn's wood furniture, it's our most popular line. We've already discussed it at length at the Nature's Inn. But what stands out the most about this is the durability and the quality, and the fact that since 2010, people are still calling our office wondering where and how they can get it. All right, so I've done a lot of talking here, but just want to recap. Here are the items that PCI makes out of PA hardwoods: the custom projects, the restoration projects, reupholstering and refinishing of furniture, the outdoor furniture such as the picnic tables, gazebos, etc., laser engraved items, which can be anything from wooden coins to ornaments to awards. And our office furniture really are Regal, Elite, and Penn's wood series that most people tend to like and go with. The reasons you should consider buying PA hardwood items, again, are first and foremost the quality and the durability. I think that really drives the train when it comes to why somebody would want this kind of furniture versus something that's has less quality and will probably end up in a landfill sooner than later. Hardwood items look extremely good for many years, so they're not replaced as often, and they create far less waste. And wood products safely store carbon for the life of the wood product. A lot of times too, I was just speaking earlier with somebody who had a desk made out of reclaimed wood, where that's, over time, it doesn't matter how old it is, you can obviously have it refinished and bring it back to its original luster. So, and lastly, I'd like to emphasize that your purchasing decisions support us, and that we support the Green Gov Council's mission of greater sustainability within state government. That, when you spend your money with PCI, now you know the mission. Now you know the people that we're helping, and now it can help the government, or can obviously help the environment too, as long as some of the products that you're buying are PA hardwood and of that line. Lastly, being a sales manager, I definitely wanted to let you know that we do sell thousands of other items. I'll take the opportunity and let you know that we make a lot of other world-class stuff. For example, pillows and mattresses will be bought by the Department of Health. We make decals and do refinishing work for the Pennsylvania State Police all the time. DCNR often buys signage from us and picnic tables. And a DMVA, it's usually custom furniture. So every dollar spent with us supports our mission, and I really do appreciate the time, to tell you a little bit about us and who we are and what we do. If you'd like to get in touch with us going forward for any reason whatsoever, you can call me directly on my cell phone. That's going to be on the next slide. But this map right here shows how we are broken down into sales territories. Organizationally, we essentially have one rep in the west, central, south central, and eastern part of the state. Rep in the eastern part of the state recently retired, but we're going to be replacing him shortly, or at least I have my fingers crossed on that. And we can open it up for questions right now. Thanks for your time and attention.
Thanks, Troy, for fantastic presentation. I can honestly say that DCNR has used probably all of those services that you provide, and we're really pleased with it. And I'll just make one statement, then I'll get to a couple of the questions that are on the chat. You featured the bald eagle nature and furniture, and it truly does look, and it's 12 years later, and it truly does look like it looked 12 years ago. I mean, the stuff is really well put together. And folks really enjoyed it. Actually, they asked us where they could buy it, and obviously you don't sell to the private sector, but we do often get folks interested in buying that furniture. The first question we have is, I think it was on the slide about the gazebos and the pavilions. How do you handle the construction or the erection of those items?
We can do it two ways generally. We can send the hardware and the materials to the location where it would be erected, or we can sometimes get some individuals from the shop on hand, the COs. They're the more or less the men or women that teach the inmates the skills to actually come out and help. We've done that with a couple the big projects, for example, the Blair County Courthouse, or if it's an enormous sign and we need all hands on deck, we can get help that way as well.
Great. You mentioned the Blair County Courthouse doors. I was just doing some quick math in my head, so that those doors are 140 years old, and they were probably sequestering carbon for 200 years before that. So you get 340 years of sequestered carbon, just those doors. Pretty cool.
That's outstanding.
Probably good for another 100 years.
You said
another question here, and this is about. So you mentioned the wages of optical technicians after their release.
Mm-hmm.
What are the wages that the inmates earn while they're inside in the program itself?
Yeah, CI inmates are paid the highest wage that we are able to pay them within the institution, which is, I believe, $1.12 per hour is the max. Our jobs are the most highly sought after in each institution, and that's a lot more than they can get paid doing other jobs within the facility. So,
and do you know how those? I guess there's a pay scale of some sort. How is that? Is that by policy or is that mandated by law? Do you know?
As far as what we're the levels that comes down from the DOC, from the top as to how much we are able to pay them. We can say that there's a waiting list at each facility, though, for our jobs. That obviously, if you're in a state correctional institution and you want to make the most of your time there, and obviously come out with be able to put your best foot forward, that's the area you're going to go. So yeah, the highest that we're able to pay them is $1.12, and usually people don't start at that. You have to work your way up to that.
Another question is delivery and installation done by PCI, such as the furniture delivery? If not, is it the buyer's responsibility to arrange delivery and installation with either internal or subcontractors?
It all depends. I mean, it depends where the item is going. If we can use our own resources, like one of our large trucks or the multiple vans that we have at our disposal, we'll manage it ourselves, and there'll be zero shipping fees. If not, we may incorporate a shipping company. Ward Shipping is how we are able to more or less ship a variety of items. Usually we'd want somebody there when we get there to help us, guide where it's supposed to go. If it's shipped by ward, though, it could be a circumstance where they would just simply drop it off where you tell them to drop it off at the address where you say that you need it delivered. But all that should be really discussed with the sales rep, really at the point of sale. You find out, you find out who would be available, if they have people at the facility who could help, say, carry something in. For example, if it's upstairs or if there's a loading dock, there's usually a list of questions we go down to find out every detail prior to accepting an order.
So you also talked about customization of furniture, and I think it's really important in our changing society. With I was getting ready to do some files maintenance, realizing that I got a lot of paper drawers for files, for paper files, and we don't have very many paper files anymore. So it's nice to be able to customize desks and furniture to meet the newer needs. You did talk about and I'm focusing on the sustainable hardwoods. So you talked about securing Pennsylvania hardwoods. Generally, where do you get your hardwood, and how far is that from the institution that's producing the furniture?
We get our hardwood from 3 mills that are close to, that are all located within the Commonwealth. Sometimes we have to go a little farther to get plywood, I know. But for example, I want to say Cherry in Indiana County, Pennsylvania, could be the one of the best places in all of the United States to get that wood. So the answer to that would be we have 3 mills that are that we generally use in state.
So you're providing the participants a really good job training. Is there assistance to help the inmates find employment after they're released?
It all depends which industry. That optical example is fantastic. Every industry is set up a little different. Whereas, say, for example, with the optical lab, we'll have do mock interviews. We talk about the basics of how to present yourself at an interview. If you have to talk about your job background, how you can tactfully do that, where you've been and what you've learned and how you've learned it. So those soft skills are taught. And if we have relationships within certain industries, obviously we'll put in a good word or make a phone call if we can help. But largely we give them the certification that they've earned, and advise them on some of the best companies where they can go and apply based on the geographic region where they're going to re-enter society, and go from there.
Great. I will say that DCNR also partners with correctional industries to do an arborist program where they get certifications as arborists, which is another segment of employment that really needs, they're short on staff and companies that have arborists. And I know that correctional industries works with local and international companies to make placements there. So there's a question about following up on the installation of furniture. So you talked about so the delivery question was answered, but do your folks install the furniture?
Well, the inmates are not allowed to leave the institutions. So if it's something that can be managed maybe by 2 people from a delivery standpoint, we can usually coordinate that ourselves. Or when it comes to delivery, we use an outside service such as Ward, who manages the shipping. We've also had clients, even the Department of Corrections, they may have hired a temp work crew. If there's a lot of items, I think we refinished a 17-foot conference table for them one time, and we really needed a lot of hands on deck in order to take the table up there, to assemble it properly, and to and to bring the chairs that came along with it. So that's an option as well. So at the end of the day, every job is different, and if it's smaller items, and if we can save our customers money, more or less, if there's a if something's being made at Rockview and I'm going up there to drop something off and can pick it up and hand deliver it myself, I've done that 1,000 times, and so is my other sales reps in Western PA and Central PA. So whenever we can cut out shipping fees, we do. But yeah, inmates are not allowed out of the facility, and so therefore, in order to get the items from the shop, it's either shipping that's managed in-house by us, or through an outside vendor.
Thanks, Troy.
Mhm.
I don't see any more questions popping up in the chat. I will say that thanks again to PCI for having a really good program that it's aimed towards reducing recidivism and helping folks get back into normal society after they're released, and also providing an opportunity to, again, sequester a lot of carbon for centuries. Actually, those are really long-term products. I want to thank everyone that's participated today in our week-long sustainability summit. We've heard from a lot of excellent presentations, and I'm sure that like me, you've learned a lot and it's made some good contacts, and it's started to formulate ways that you can better help your agency or organization to promote and advance our sustainability work. So thanks again for joining today. And Matt, I can throw it back to you for maybe closing comments.
Yeah, and thanks so much, John and Troy. Fantastic work being done. It's really impressive to hear of the breadth of the program. And just the benefits, and using Pennsylvania harvested hardwood. You're getting a product that's going to last multiple lifetimes, presumably. It's very exciting. The inmates learning a trade, having opportunities when they go out, having opportunities to do something while they are, while they are incarcerated, and learning that trade and the satisfaction that you get from it. I just can't speak enough to the quality and the efforts. And it's really fantastic that when it's all said and done, and then then a client agency is receiving a world-class piece of furniture. So the wins are all across the board. And thanks so much for everything, and for your presentation today as well, Troy. And then and of course all the efforts.
Absolutely.
As you can see here, we have a partnered with Penn State facilities. I'm sorry, with Penn State, and they have a sustainability initiative, and folks from their Smill College of Business are participating, and there's a QR code here shown for them. And then also in the chat, if you see, there's a link that Dr. Peter Boger put in regard to the program for incarcerated looking for a pathway to college. If you can click on that for further information. And then just in closing is that this presentation and webinar was recorded, as with all of them from the sustainability series, and we will host those on the GreenGov website and get a follow-up email around to folks with all the presentations and links to those on the GreenGov website. It might take us a bit, so don't expect it within the next week, but within the next 2 weeks, I'd say is probably a reasonable expectation of time for us to get those together, and they'll be available for everybody's review and reference. And with that being said, thanks again. We certainly had a great time and a really great showing for this second Commonwealth Sustainability Week. We're really proud of the work that's being done, of all participants, all all associated agencies, and we hope to see you in the future. And one last thing is that we, as I mentioned beforehand, we partner with Penn State Sustainability Institute with webinar series, and that next webinar hosted monthly will begin next Friday. So we hope that you can join us for then. I think there's a link to that in here as well, and if not, I certainly will follow up in the next week for at least that. That'll conclude it. Thanks so much. Have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
Todd.
Thank you.